everybody. Friends, beautiful people. It is Kathryn and 5D visionary. Sorry, I came back from a nice brisk walk outside. It just feels really good. So I'm relaxed. I'm coming to you relaxed and refreshed and rejuvenated. It is I, Kathryn and 5D visionary, conscious creatrix, elevated consciousness coach. Thanks for joining me. Those of you who are jumping on live, I appreciate you. Thank you. Those of you who are going to be watching me on my YouTube channel, or are watching me as I project myself into the future, watching me on my YouTube channel, if you like content like this, you're going to want to hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. So there are many of you out there with the feeling of, I want to go back home. It's very, very challenging for those of us who aren't fully remembering who we are and our infinite nature, and remembering that we are here on a mission, which is partially something we signed up for it, but we don't remember that, so it kind of doesn't matter. We are waking up to remembering more of why we came, that we had something to share here. But what's unique and wonderful, yes, wonderful, about the 3D experience of being an infinite soul in a physical expression is that we get to make it up as we go along. That is what is so incredible about this human journey, is that because of the spectrum of human emotion that we get to experience here, and it's all about experience here, and it's all about contrast here. And seeing more and more of the contrast, and those of you who are out there feeling like I want to go back home, you are feeling and seeing the contrast more than anyone right now. But it is only through that, and we knew that before we came here, it is only through that contrast that we find more ways, uncover more opportunities to realize why we came, to remember why we're here, and to bring our special light and gift to the world. We knew that this was a major ascension timeline that we were going to be on here in this lifetime, and that we would be helpers. Some of us who are on that first wave of ascension, who are really, pushing past the old paradigms, the old power structures, the old ways of being, the long-held beliefs that has kept humanity in darkness. We are constantly disrupting that in our own way. We're gonna feel it in ourselves first, though, because we can't ever impart or hope to explain or hope to project an experience out to the world that helps the rest of humanity ascend if we're not the first mirror for it, if we're not the first line for it first. Meaning that we feel it, and we feel all of it, and we feel it very intensely. It's very potent, it's very powerful, it's palpable, it's electric. It's meant to be this way. Because if it's not affecting us in a way where it moves us out of being passive, then we're not really remembering why we're here, and we're not really fulfilling our mission. And I want to talk about our mission for a second, because I don't feel that being part of this 3D experience where we have the divine expression of our free will here, we have free will choice. And in fact, it's choice that aligns us in every given moment to have a vibration, to emit a frequency, okay? The only way we do this, the only way we emit a frequency, have a vibration, is through choice. We are choosing to think something, we are choosing to feel something, we are choosing to behave in a certain way, we are choosing to believe something, we're choosing to interact with people in a way that's aligned with the higher 5D timeline of compassion, understanding, loving, and forgiveness, or we are relating our whole experience with the lower end of the emotional spectrum, anger, blame, resentment, hate, even fear. All of that is aligned with choice. You are choosing any and all of those emotions, and you can pivot on that at any given time because of your ability to have free will choice. So if you feel as though you are experiencing this contrast of, but I know that there's something more. I know that I am an elevated soul. I know that I have a consciousness that goes beyond the density of this everyday, sometimes seemingly, drudgery of life, where it just feels like you're caught in the chaos of the drama here that's playing out big time on the stage of planet Earth right now. You are either choosing to get caught up in that minutia, or you are choosing to rise above it. And I know that this isn't the easiest thing to hear for many of you, because you feel very lost in the chaos. You feel very lost in the lower density realms. But you are choosing that. You are choosing that. The stuff that's coming up now has a lot to do with a culminating timeline that a lot of us are occupying, which means the entirety of our history of 3D, of being in this 3D reality, all of those lifetimes and timelines are culminating and compressing so that we're feeling it all in this lifetime right now. That also accounts for why it feels so dense. It feels like you can't get out of this, like you can't extract yourself from a certain vibration and move up to the next best available vibration. It's because you're in a culminating timeline. And this is only going to feel more compressed. It's only going to feel more dense if you are refusing to look at or pretend not to know that there's something for you to clear, release, or heal. Sorry, not sorry. This is going to make you feel like, I just want to go back home. I can't do this. I want to go back home. And many of us are having a realization of knowing that we come from a higher vibrational realm, that we come from a higher frequency consciousness and level of experience. So the contrast feels even more potent and intense here for us. And it makes us want to turn away. It makes us want to bury our heads in the sand and pretend that this isn't all happening, that it isn't real. And, it's not. We are in an illusion-based reality here in 3D. But where we are forgetting our power is that we are the wielders of time. We are the creators of time here. Energy is our tool here, and we wield it as we desire, as we wish. What we turn our attention, perspective, and focus and vantage point to, we get to wield the energy of that as desired. We forget that. That is part of going back to the infinite part of mind, the infinite part of your consciousness where you already know and remember all of this stuff. It's where we're getting caught in that addiction to that survival mode level of consciousness that we forget all of this. It's not ever that we're not aligned with this part of ourself. We are always in alignment with our higher self. We are always in alignment with our divinity. But it is the distortions that present themselves to us as part of this 3D reality of illusion. The distortions that allow us to not broadcast at our highest and best frequency. And so if we are not broadcasting our highest and best frequency, everything feels like static. Everything feels like contrast. Because when one moment we are choosing one thing that feels right, it feels aligned, it feels in communion with the divine. It feels like we are being loving and compassionate towards ourselves, towards others. We're being more understanding. We're being more forgiving. We're moving away from judgment. And then the next moment, we get wrapped up in something that triggers us because of a trauma we haven't released, because of a pain we haven't dealt with, because of a discomfort that we are denying consistently over time. That's how easy it is for us to get taken out of what feels like alignment, although we're never not in alignment. But that's what can take us out of this vibration where we are having no distortion, where we are having pure coherence in thought, feeling, and behavior. The littlest thing that, triggers us. Someone says something mean. Someone is being judgmental. You see something in the news. You see something happening in the world where you see people being mistreated, tortured, persecuted in some way. and you forget, you get caught up in that moment of illusion, and you forget that you have all the power here as a frequency holder to keep holding a vibration no matter what. This is all part of our remembering process. And when you feel distracted in this way, and you are in the center of this distortion, you feel this contrast within you, this conflict so strongly, it's so much easier to go back into that survival mode of consciousness where you're forgetting everything about your divinity, you're forgetting everything about your power, you're forgetting everything about being a frequency holder, and that you decided to come here to lead this wave of ascension and hold this frequency for yourself and for the collective of humanity, the entirety of the human family. And that you would be in that no matter what. Yes, it's not that you would turn a blind eye and see all these things that are happening that you would call chaotic or persecuting or suffering, or where people are struggling. It's not that you're turning a blind eye to that. You are seeing all of it. But you are saying, in spite of that, with the vibration and the frequency that you're holding, but I am this. I am this. That is part of your legacy as a frequency holder. That is why you're here ultimately. But the very sweet and wonderful thing about being in this 3D reality that we also forget, so often we also forget, that we are the wielders of energy here. Energy is our tool. Energy is just energy. We give it meaning. We give it purpose. We give ourselves purpose. Purpose isn't necessarily given to us. We have a mission, yes. But with our divine creative ability as 3D beings, and we are incredibly creative. Look at the world around you. Look at the amazing technologies available in science and medicine. The things that we've created as human beings that has brought us the creature comforts that we take so much for granted. These were all created by someone. Us. Right here. Humans. Incredibly creative. Incredibly innovative. Always innovating. Always creating. Sometimes it does us really good. Sometimes it doesn't do us so good. But we're figuring it all out. And what you are figuring out right now is how to craft your divine expression of your purpose based on you being a creative being here in 3D that uses and wields energy as your tool. How are you creatively and constructively wielding energy as your tool to bring purpose and meaning to your life and to establish and hold a frequency in that ripples out into the collective? This is the message from Source today that you are meant to hear. I want you to really take this into your heart and just sit with this energy for a minute. And I'm getting teary, I'm getting very emotional because I spent all night not really sleeping, very deeply dreaming, but it wasn't a restful sleep where I was constantly getting bombarded and downloaded with this information because I had this feeling yesterday before I went to bed. I want to go back home. And sometimes that feeling is so strong. And I know I come here from a lot of different multidimensional perspectives that I am in simultaneously as I am occupying this 3D experience. It's a very odd feeling. But I know that to be true for myself. And many of you are probably awakening to the same thing. That maybe sometimes you have one foot in a different dimensional awareness where you are home. And then when you are in that perspective, it feels wonderful. But then you can turn your perspective to something that triggers you back into 3D reality very quickly and reminds you of the contrast that is here and says, you know what, this is not home. This does not feel like home. But you are saying that to yourself. But what if you were to take more of that perspective of what you feel like, the frequency, the vibration you are in when you feel like you are at home? And you bring that here. You drag that focus from that other perspective, that other dimensional awareness, that other level of consciousness, and you drag it in. This is what merging timelines is all about. And if you want to know about this, I'm teaching a masterclass on timelines starting the 21st. You drag this into your 3D reality. and you look through the lens of that vantage point, of that level of perspective, that God's eye perspective, notice how everything changes when you change that filter, when you change that viewpoint. Because it is all about perspective and perception, and where we are focusing and directing our attention in any given moment, and that is a choice. So how you design your purpose here, your mission, which yes, you signed up for. You kind of contracted yourself out for this lifetime because you knew what would be happening here on planet Earth at this time and how powerful your impact could be on this planet. All that's happened is that you've forgotten. But those fragments keep calling. Every morning I get up, every morning, and I mean every morning, I do a meditation practice where I call all fragmented aspects of myself back. Any threads of my consciousness that I have avoided, that I have sent away, that I have disassociated from, I call them all back with love and I wash them clean in Source Creator's light. You may want to do this because it's not only calling back all of those 3D threads of consciousness that you have avoided or sent away or disassociated from, fragmented from because of pain or trauma, but all of that remembering of where you come from as a multidimensional being, probably in many, many multidimensional experiences simultaneously. You're also calling all of those fragments back. And whatever is the strongest energy when you call all those fragmented parts of self back, whatever is the strongest frequency and vibration in that is what you will hold. Based on your choice, however. So if you are allowing more of those divine fragmented bits of self to come back and roost right here in this home, in this planetary vessel that you can call home too, if you're allowing that to be the strongest frequency you hold, guess what the lens of your entire day is going to be? Guess how much more easy and seamless and joyful and graceful it is going to be to interact with people throughout your day. To be involved in the things that seem mundane, you can glean more joy, more presence by calling back those fragmented bits of self. And when you wash that, the powerful thing you don't want to miss is calling all that back and washing yourself clean in source light. It's like setting the reset button on everything that came before. It's like a mini life review and a mini cleanse that is very powerful, very simple. The message that I constantly get from my guides, my team, is that we are making this way harder than we need to. Way harder than we need to. Sometimes it's the simplest things that we do to redirect, refocus our energy are the things that are the most powerful and create the biggest pivot for us. Kimberlina says, I know I am here and there. I know I'm in this reality and in other dimensions. We all are. But it's the level of awareness that we are creating in that allows you to have this level of being awake, of being able to focus your attention in different places at once. Being multidimensional, it involves so much about presence, awareness, and being in the now moment. And understanding that you can actually place your attention in several places at once. We are learning how to do this. We are being constantly bombarded with new light codes of information that are showing us how. But your level of awareness and presence with the information that's coming in and how much your body is, sending the signal away because of trauma you haven't cleared, that's entirely on you. Again, it's a choice. Do you want to be a better receiver and transmitter of energies? Clean up your shit. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not here to be a hand holder. I'm here to be a frequency holder, but not a hand holder. I'm here to tell it like it is, and I'm here because I have mad love and respect for all of you, especially for those of you who are going through this period where you are most likely in a culminating timeline, where you are reviewing the history of your entire reality here in 3D over many, many lifetimes, over many, many timelines, over many, many parallel realities that you've lived here in 3D. Yes, many parallel realities lived here in 3D. You're reviewing it, and it's all culminating. And the stuff that are like, the stuff that's like the biggest things that you've missed, the lessons that you've not downloaded, the experiences, the karma you have not marked complete. This is the stuff that's coming up in high contrast, in stark relief for you now, to the point where the universe is saying, I'm going to make this so obvious to you that you cannot deny it anymore, because it's time to clear it up. Because we are really on this event horizon right now, where we are getting to, many of us are getting to this kind of jumping off point, to that next level in our ascended consciousness. We can't do this by taking our stuff with us. We can't take this lower, dense, ego, consciousness, survival mode reality, crisis management crap with us. We can't take our karma with us. It doesn't have any vibration in 5D. You can't hold the frequency of karma in 5D. You can't hold the frequency of this trauma you refuse to clear in 5D. You can't take it with you. So I'm always saying this, it is not a destination, 5D. It is a vibration. So the vibration must be coherent, okay? So when I say that, I'm talking about your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors must be in coherence. They must be congruent. They must be a vibrational match. And they must be a vibrational match with each other. And they must be a vibrational match with the frequency you are elevating to in 5D. If you're still holding on to feelings of judgment, judgment is the big one. You got to clear the judgment, people. It's hard. I know that I'm here to clear a lot of judgment. It is a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is a practice to be a vibrational match to 5D. You will understand more of how you are bringing your own unique design to your purpose. Yes, we came here with a mission and a contract, but how you design that and craft it, because of the creativity that you have in 3D, is your choice how you're going to express that. And so the more you align in coherence, your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, with the vibration of 5D, guess how much easier it's going to be for you to craft this purpose and this expression, and to feel like everything I need as a 3D being to be supported in this endeavor is going to show up for me if I do this. It happens. It happens. I didn't trust it for a really long freaking time. And when I started trusting it and surrendering that, if I align with the fact that I am here, maybe I didn't want to go here. And you know what? I had one of the biggest revelations last night when I was having this feeling wanting to go home. Many of you are going to recognize this and feel this. And I get a little teary. I'm sorry. I'm very emotional today because of this kind of epiphany and revelation last night. I miss my friends. I miss my friends. I know that I had friends and other dimensional realities over many, many, many lifetimes that I haven't seen in a very long time. But I knew that I had something important to do here, and I would be saying goodbye to them. I'm not even sure I'm ever going to see them again. Vibrationally, I know I'm still with them in some dimensional awareness, but I often feel like I miss my people, and I can't wait until my mission is complete and I get to go back home. But for now, the only way back home is forward. The only way out is through. And I want to say that because I know that many of you need to hear it. Many of you need to hear it. And I know who you are. I see you out there. I feel you out there. Those of you who watch my YouTube videos, those of you who watch my lives, I see you. I feel you. I know you. And I know you need to hear this. Reclaiming your mission means that the only way back home is forwards. Keep going. There's more work to do. There's more work to do on yourself. And in doing that, doing the great work, I call it, of working on yourself, clearing your stuff, clearing your trauma, getting your vibration into coherence with 5D reality is what it's all about, people. And the more you clear your stuff, the more that affects and ripples out into the collective of the human family. You are helping everybody when you help yourself in this way. When you clear your trauma, you clear your pain, you clean up your discomfort, you figure out why that is. You look a little deeper than you feel is comfortable for you to clear that stuff, release it, heal it, and love yourself and forgive yourself. That ripples out into the collective. Believe me. That is you as a frequency holder. That's what that means. And the more you do that, and the more you forgive and love and accept yourself for being right where you are, knowing you are exactly where you are supposed to be, that ripples out too. That ripples out too. And when I say that, do you feel that expansion in your heart? Do you feel that opening up? Do you feel the back of your heart chakra just kind of like releasing and like blowing out? That's good. That's good. Because a lot of us feeling like we want to go back home, what it's actually doing is it's sealing off the back of our heart chakra, so that we are not in equal measure a receiver and a transmitter of heart-centric energy that's 5D. We always think that, the crown chakra is everything and that's where all the information comes in. No, not necessarily. Yes, all of the chakras are receivers and transmitters, but it's all about the heart. It's about the heart-centric nature. It is the command center of ascended consciousness, meaning as we go into 5D, everything comes through, filters through, and exits through the heart. All the information comes in and out of this space. So if you're not clear in the front and the back of the chakras, you're going to have a problem downloading information and disseminating that information in the rest of the body and allowing for seamless communication within the chakras. Okay? A lot of us are, those of us who are feeling like we want to go back home, all of our information is stuck between the heart chakra and the crown and the stellar gateway, and it gets stagnated there, and we're not bringing it into the body. This is why we feel like we're not at home, because we are denying and negating our planetary home of Mother Earth, who we are very strongly tied to through electromagnetic frequencies, through the Schumann resonance, through rhythms, electromagnetic rhythms, circadian rhythms. We are very tied to her. But when all of our energy is from here up, we are not connected in stability and security with our lower chakras, with our foot chakras, which if you want to connect in that way, the 7 points of connection is what you want to listen to on my YouTube page, or I'll put it in the comments here. So is this resonating with you guys? Do you hear this? So it's time to reconnect. It's time to reconnect with our mission and redefine, reclaim our purpose by creating it in our own expression. We are all unique threads of divine expression. If you think of the one all as a giant tapestry, we are all woven together as individual threads of consciousness that all leads back to the one. We are threading through each other's experiences. We are woven into each other's experiences and events and timelines. This is not a mistake. This is not random. We are meant to connect as a human family. So when we say we want to go back home, we are separating. And even though this illusion of 3D reality is to show us through having a three-dimensional body what separation is, it's all just to give us the contrast. It's not a vibration we're meant to stay in. It's just meant to show us the contrast. And then we must choose with our free will choice to go back to the oneness, to go back to the oneness. And everything that we're doing, if you feel like you have a mission here, a purpose to fulfill, some way of leading humanity forward, it's all about bringing us all back to oneness, isn't it? Meditate on that. Sit with that. How am I bringing humanity back to oneness? Make it your mantra. Make it something you repeat. And you make it like an affirmation, because it feels more comfortable to your subconscious to accept it that way. And it actually prompts your subconscious to search for answers for that. Why am I here to lead humanity forward through the ascension process? Why am I so uniquely gifted with this opportunity to help lead humanity forward? Doesn't it feel good to put it in that way? Kathryn, this is powerful. I hope so. I was literally up all night getting all this stuff. And so it was very powerful for me, especially because me asking for the answers for this stuff came from a place of separation. I want to go back home. I miss my friends. And it was this incredibly comforting series of messages and downloads that came in and said, we understand. We get it. We understand. And I know I've been here a long time doing this stuff. I'm aware of at least 19 lifetimes of doing this stuff. At least 19. And probably more to be uncovered when I come around the next time around, because I know I'm not done yet. And when I think about it that way, as me separating or fractionating off from where I came from, of course I'm going to feel alone. Of course I'm going to see more of the contrast. Of course I'm going to feel conflicted. But if I put it in the perspective of, but I'm here to do something that is bigger than me. And if I think that I chose it, but also I think I was maybe selected, to do it, then it feels like, okay, well, I don't want to let anybody down. So I got to keep working on my shit. I got to keep clearing my stuff. Hi, Patrice. So I really, come from the highest level of my heart, from the highest level of my highest self, to bring you this message here today. And I hope it brings you to a place of reckoning within yourself, where you can go to the core of your being and see the contrast, see the conflict that you're holding, and say, okay, where have I been choosing that? Where have I been choosing the conflict? Where have I been choosing to stay in the chaos? Where have I been choosing to see humanity treating each other poorly and staying in the outrage of it? And how is that doing anything to serve my purpose or my mission here? It's not. Because then you're being a frequency holder to keep the 3D timelines and power structures of diminishment alive. That's not what you're here to do. That's not what you're here to do. And I know you and I see you out there, and I just come to you with this message with such love in my heart and such respect, because I know what you're going through, because I'm going through it too. And I come across with these really strong messages, but I'm struggling with it too. But I pull myself out of it constantly. I have to be my own hero, and I have to be my own hand holder in this. You have to do that too. Because those of us who are here in the front lines of ascension have to be the most resilient. We have to be the strongest. We have to fortify our resolve in ways that, we can't really expect all of humanity to do. And we have to accept that we're going to stumble and fall in this process. A lot. And so all the more important for us to come together as a tribe and share in this and celebrate this with each other and say, I see you, sister, I see you, brother, and I love you. So that's what I'm saying to you today. Love and peace.